Okay, so we have some questions here. The first question is, how does implantation of the biochip happen? Essentially, what we do is we take the hand, typically we go parallel to the first metacarpal. We take the skin and prep it, and you would lift the skin up like this, you'd apply tension, and then use an injector like this. So the chip is inside the needle there. So you'd take this off, and then with the skin pulled up, you would insert it under, retract it, and then push the plunger, and that would have the chip come out. And I can kind of show you that process here. Take the little safety off, and you can kind of see if I push the plunger, chip comes out like that. So that's what would be left in the hand, and take it out, bandage, and there you go. Put this back together later. So question two, what can you do with the biochip? Can a single biochip perform several tasks, or do you need to implant several chips? Well, the answer to this is kind of both. So a single chip essentially has an ID number, a serial number. Some of the chips have additional memory space that you can write data to. So when it comes to applications like access control, where you're opening a door lock, for example, you might want to access a physical location through a door. You might want to modify your vehicle so that you can open the door and start the vehicle with a chip implant. All of those things typically use the ID number of the chip to do that. So you can use that chip and that ID number with an infinite number of door locks or access applications. So you just add that ID number to the locks. So you would add your chip ID to the door lock at your front door. You'd add it to the lock reader in the vehicle, and so on and so on. So you can use it for many, many applications in that way. Um, at the same time, there are a lot of different kinds of RFID systems out there. Some of them use NFC, some of them use traditional RFID. So in the end, if you want to be kind of compatible with a lot of different kinds of systems, you will probably want to get more than just one chip. And actually, the chip that I just showed you, this chip kind of solves some of that problem. We have two very common chips inside one single implant. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the low frequency side and then the high frequency side. And so that chip is called the Next, and it has an NTAG 216 NFC chip and a T5577 125 kilohertz RFID chip, all in the same injectable device. So that kind of helps solve some of that problem. Question three, do people often ask whether it's safe to implant a chip? What do you answer to such questions? Well, the safety, of course, is two things. One is the device safe. Are the materials safe? Has it been properly processed to be, made sterile? So those questions we can answer yes, the materials are safe. The biocompatible soda lime glass we use from a company called Schott. They make transponder glass for all kinds of applications, usually animal applications like pets, dogs and cats, or lab animals or livestock. So those materials and all that have been tested for cytotoxicity. We run our batches through EO gas sterilization at a commercial facility, and those are lot tested and things to ensure that they are in fact sterile. Now, the other side of the coin is the installation done safely? So is a professional body modder, body piercer, medical doctor, cosmetic surgeon, are they installing it properly and safely? And most of the safety issues have to do with infection. So, making sure that the skin has been properly antiseptically treated, make sure that you're not just stabbing it straight in, you're doing the proper installation procedure, you're following our professional guide. So in those cases, we can say that the properly trained professional partners that are on our international partner map, they perform the installations correctly. There haven't been any reports that I know of infection from a partner. Some people take them to like a friend who is in medical school or whatever. They may even try to do it themselves. We really don't suggest that. Every time we've heard a report of an infection, it's been from somebody who's attempted that. So it's definitely good to take it to one of our professionals. And if you can't find a professional partner in your area, we have a guide on how to approach a professional in your area. If you just call or send an email, they're going to go, "Are you crazy?" And they'll say no. So you have to meet them in person. They need to make sure you're not a crazy person, and then usually they'll kind of warm to the idea, and you'll get a professional installation done safely. Number four, why, in your opinion, people implant biochips into a smartphone or smartwatch. They can perform the same tasks. So yes, this is true. You can do these things with other items, like you can open a door with keys. You can do certain things with your smartphone, but it really comes down to management burden. So if you look at like things like patient compliance, where taking medication on time or wearing a heart monitor or doing anything that's extra curricular outside of your normal daily tasks, even something as simple as wearing like a Fitbit, um, these additional burdens to your management payload, right? Your daily burden of management. You have your phone, wallet, and keys. Adam Sandler had a great song about this. Beyond that, if you go beyond that, it's really difficult. So it's why people leave their glasses or forget their, anything additional you have to manage is a burden. And by a properly designed implant, you placing that in there, it's always on, always available. There's no management. You don't have to charge anything. It's frictionless, managementless. It just becomes part of who you are and your natural capabilities as a human being. So the question really, it could be asked of almost anything in the same vein, which is another person that I know of, Amy. She said, why would you get LASIK if you can just wear glasses? Well, there's a big reason, right? You don't have to keep managing your glasses or taking in and out contacts for the rest of your life. You can get LASIK and it's just done. It's just now it's your body's altered in a better way. And the same thing is true of a chip implant. It's simple, fast, easy, nearly painless, and once it's done, you're just done. It's now part of you. You're altered. You're enhanced. You can get rid of those other things. So I'd say that's a compelling reason for most. It might not be compelling for everyone, and as the applications that we can use these things for increase, we're trying to get chip implants to be able to be used for payment, ride transit, things like that, and do so in a legitimate manner, not just trying to like hack something together, but actually work with companies to make this happen. So as those types of applications come on board and become possible, then I think more people will be seeing the potential advantages to getting a chip implant up over and above just computer login, opening your door, that kind of thing. Number five, which company services become more popular in recent years? Yeah, chip implants. I got this in 2005. It's still there. It's still used daily with various things around the office and home. Um, and at the time, it was very much considered like taboo and very crazy. What is this guy doing? But then over the years, it got more and more interest. I wrote a book in 2007 called RFID Toys. Then by 2010 or so, the maker movement really started to go crazy, and people started making their own projects and their own solutions again, building circuits and things like that. So by the time 2013 rolled around, there was enough interest. It was just kind of taking up my day. It was just a lot of people writing in and emailing and things. And so I went ahead and started a company called Dangerous Things just because I thought it was a funny kind of tongue-in-cheek approach to something that seemed to be outlandish, but it really wasn't that dangerous at all. So started Dangerous Things, started selling chips that we sourced and tested rigorously. But then we realized we wanted to do more, and phones were getting NFC, so we started a Indiegogo campaign, a crowdfunding campaign for the world's first implantable NFC transponder called the XNT. And that succeeded wildly, way more than I thought. I think it almost raised 4 times the goal. And so we went into business. And so essentially, the interest in chip implants has been gaining ground. We've got some copycat companies coming out that are just kind of sourcing their stuff from China. It's turnkey. They don't manage their materials, which I really don't think is a good idea, because then you can't do lot testing and be sure that there's not something that's different in the next item in the lot, because they just kind of swap in material whenever they want. So the popularity is growing, yes, for sure. VivoKey was started in 2018, and VivoKey is another company that focuses exclusively on cryptographic devices. So not just simple NFC or RFID transponders, but cryptographically provable tokens and identities and smart card implants and things like that. So we have a Spark 2 product that's out now. We're going to, hopefully this year, fingers crossed, it's been a long time coming, we'll release our Apex chip line, and that's all going to be smart card based. So you can load Java card. You can write your own Java card applications, put them on the chip, and they'll run. Software applications run on the chip. So I think that'll open up a wide array of possibilities, and people will be developing things for that. It'd be great. Number 6, if I want to implant a biochip, but I'm concerned whether it's safe for my health, what kind of doctor should I ask about these concerns? Well, the thing is, you ask a doctor a question, and if they're kind of like a lawyer, right? If they don't know exactly the subject matter, they're going to err on the side of caution. They're going to say it doesn't sound safe, don't do it, right? Um, it would be best to have your doctor call us, and we would be happy to talk to them about the materials, the testing we've done, MRI compliance, all that stuff, cytotoxicity testing, all of it. So once they're informed, then they can answer your question appropriately and properly. If they don't know anything about it, they're just going to go, I wouldn't do it, right? And that's the advice anybody would give. You would, if you didn't know about something, right, and somebody asks, is it safe? You'd be like, I don't think so, probably not. Best not to do it. So, yeah, you can ask your doctor, but I would definitely say, hey, I want you to talk to these guys for me to figure out if it's safe, and we'll be happy to have a conversation. So that's it, and we'll see you later.